makes me feel like I was made for you. The storm in your eyes, in your eyes, in your eyes. You cannot escape from me. The gods above and our destiny. You cannot escape from me. The gods above and our destiny. Ale, 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 oh. Ale, 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 oh. Ale, 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 oh. Ale, 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 oh. Ale, 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 oh. Ale, 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 oh. Ale, 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 oh.
Our next cohort of Stephen Joel Trachtenberg Scholars. As many of you know, this program has existed since 1989. And it's a program where we've enrolled over 200 scholars who've been able to come to GW and to be able to put their academic focus first, right? To be able to be offered a scholarship where your tuition fees, room, board, books, all those things get put aside so that your number one concern as a student here is having an amazing academic experience. And I want to kickstart our night off by introducing our president, Mark Brain. He's coming to us where he's previously served at the Washington University of St. Louis, where he served as chancellor, but we're incredibly excited that he joined us this January, and you will be part of his first entering class here at GW. So I'd like to allow him a chance to introduce himself and to address not only our scholars, but our families and our supporters that have helped all of these students become here tonight.
To see these extremely talented young people who will be joining us as Trachtenberg Scholars. I just had the opportunity to be photographed with them, and it's a thrill to see such talented people coming to George Washington University. I appreciate the introduction and the opportunity to be here with you this evening, and I'm relatively new here. I just started on January 1, and as many are visiting perhaps for the first time, this is a very special space. It is called the City View Room, and when the weather is good, which will be a promise I make to the scholars, you will be able to come here and have your photograph with the Washington Monument in the background. I've already, been here several times, and it is a special space, very inspiring. We're in the Elliott School of International Affairs. And as you know, we have some huge challenges internationally just now. And this is a place where you can learn about the rest of the world and participate with distinguished faculty members who are writing essays and formulating thoughts about issues like the Russian invasion of Ukraine. So this is a special place, and you're special people, and I congratulate all of the new Trachtenberg scholars, and I also congratulate our provost, Chris Bracey, and all of our faculty, because you are going to be very special people here. And just so you know that you can be successful, there are current Trachtenberg scholars here this evening, and they're providing testimony that you can be successful here at the George Washington University. I'd like to welcome some very special guests tonight. Of course, our Trachtenberg scholars and their families, their school counselors, those who nominated our scholars, and principals of the important schools that you represent. I'd like also to acknowledge Eleanor Holmes Norton, Congresswoman for the District of Columbia. I'm really pleased that you could be here, and thank you for being in the photograph with all of us. We really appreciate your leadership and commitment. There are members of the DC Council, either here or on their way. Alyssa Silverman, Brooke Pinto, Mary Shea, an esteemed member of our law faculty is here, Janice Lewis George, and I'm hoping that Vincent Gray, a person that I had the privilege of meeting not so long ago when we had a groundbreaking for the Cedar Hill Medical Center in the Ward 8. Vincent Gray was former mayor and really a great alumnus of George Washington University. And also, we hope that Treya White will be with us. And I had the opportunity, just as we were gathering, to meet Dr. Christina Grant, the State Superintendent of Education. She says she's a New Yorker, but rapidly becoming a Washingtonian and a great leader here in our education programs. To the scholars, you're embarking upon a transformational period in your lives. I would like to share with you that my parents did not go to college. I did not understand that ultimately I would be the president of a great university. I had no idea about what the opportunities would be. But I did go to college. I did not win a Trachtenberg scholarship. I did not have, the full financial support. In fact, as I've shared with some, I became a chemist, and I offered to my advisor that I needed, a little job, perhaps in his laboratory, washing dishes, and I offered that because I needed the money. And you have the privilege of attending one of the most outstanding universities, and your support has been provided. I like very much that this program is named in honor of Stephen Trachtenberg. He was a distinguished historic contributor here, a president. So as a president, I like the notion that there are things named after a president. But my own life was truly transformed by my educational experience. And my suggestion to you is to become involved not only in learning what is known. You've proven already through your high school experiences that you have the capacity to learn, and to learn rapidly, anything that others know. We take that for granted. You're distinguished, you're accomplished. However, when you come here, it is my hope that by joining this research university, you will have the opportunity to participate in creative scholarship, delivering new knowledge to society that can make a difference in the world. That's what we do here. We do learn what others know. We have the responsibility to educate, but we also have the responsibility to create new knowledge that will be valuable to our society. And I'm pleased that you have been drawn to this institution, and we look forward to your contributions here. I thank you for your commitment, and I will look forward to welcoming you to the George Washington University when we begin with the class of 2026. That's when you're going to graduate. You can turn to for advice, for counseling, and please know that everyone here at the university is available to you as advisors and supporters. We're excited that you've been selected, and I'm looking forward to the fall when I will welcome my very first class of first-year students at the George Washington University. Congratulations again, and all good wishes. Thank you.
Celebration of the students, it's a celebration of the families, it's a celebration for us at GW of what we believe the next 4 years will be because you are here. And I want to take a little bit of time really, and hopefully he doesn't mind, but Mr. James, I'm going to elevate some of your words that you may have seen on the news last week. And, you know, as we were talking, he reflected on how much we celebrate things like a student being selected for the draft, right? And going off to professional sports. And that's an amazing event for that student and that student athlete. It's an amazing event for the coaches that have helped mentor and guide them, for the community that's been supported, and the people who are citizens of the city that are now going to be cheering for that player. You all as Stephen Joel Trachtenberg scholars, you are our first picks of the draft, right? And I want us to celebrate to that same degree. And we have such a sense of excitement about how we think this institution will be better because you are a part of us. And you were all selected through a process that looked at not only how have you progressed through your 4 years of high school, but what potential we see for you here at GW. And with that, I want to introduce our provost, Chris Bracey, because he leads that academic enterprise. He's working to help us identify how do we chart the next generation of GW, right? And as the provost overseeing all the different schools' academic departments, he himself is a professor in our law school. He served as the interim dean of our law school, and is someone who's 100% committed to making sure you have the best academic experience here.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Dean Toll. And I would like to echo President Brighton's thanks for all that you do for our scholars here at the university. Congratulations and welcome to the class of 2026 Stephen Joel Trachtenberg Scholars. As your provost, I am personally thrilled to have the opportunity to celebrate, as Dean Toll has said, celebrate all of your remarkable achievements. And I truly mean remarkable, because to be named a Trachtenberg Scholar, you truly need to be exceptional, and exceptional in every way. You must be an excellent student. You must be a leader among your peers. You must be an active participant in community service and extracurricular activities. That takes a lot of time. That takes dedication. That takes commitment, and it takes motivation. And you did all of this with the extra burden of having to manage through the challenges of a global pandemic, which has changed fundamentally the way that we live, that we learn, and that we work. Your motivation and thirst for knowledge are what make you such exciting additions to the George Washington University's vibrant community of scholars. Here, your potential will be fully realized. You will experience a rigorous and high-quality educational instructional environment through the courses that you choose to take with us. You will have the opportunity to push the frontier of knowledge through the production and dissemination of impactful research. And you will reach intellectually beyond your comfort zones, applying the knowledge that you gain in the classroom, in your internships, and in your extracurricular activities. In short, you will have a holistic student experience where you will grow your analytical and social skills, refine your passions, and deepen your understanding of who you are. You are not merely to find yourself here. That's too passive of a concept for the work that you will undertake when you arrive here in the fall and over the subsequent 4 years of your relationship with this university. No, what you will do is make yourselves here. At the George Washington University, you will become a leader, you will become a trailblazer, solving the problems of today and tomorrow in an increasingly diverse and global society. That's the challenge. The George Washington University has so many opportunities for you to explore, and I encourage you to explore as many as you possibly can. I very much look forward to seeing what you do and what you become when you arrive at the university. So congratulations again. And at this point, I'd like to invite the admissions staff to present the biographical sketches of our Trachtenberg scholars. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Provost Bracey. It is such a pleasure. I'd like to invite you, as you read your bio, to stand and be recognized by your peers, as well as the members of your new GW family. Part of the benefit of this event is for you to get to know each other. And so we look forward to doing just that. So the first scholar I'd like to introduce you to is Cynthia Madrid Romero. Cynthia, would you stand? Education campus. There she has been involved in student government, played on the school's softball team, and has been part of the creative writing and book clubs. Outside of school, she volunteers and helps people learn English as a second language and has worked in childcare. Cynthia moved to DC from El Salvador. She helps in DC in helping her team learn the value of education and becoming an independent, free-thinking, and empathetic person. Cynthia plans on studying philosophy and wants to study abroad in Korea. Charnice Carr. Charnice currently attends Cesar Chavez Public Charter School. A native Washingtonian, she has been an active member of her church community. Being the middle child of 5 children, she says her interest in psychology and political science stems from the tolls that mental illness has taken on her community and learning what supports people with mental illnesses and what the government can do to support them. Charnice, appropriately, plans on studying psychological and brain sciences here at GW. Ahmad Khan. There he's been involved in student government, played on the school's soccer team and tennis team. He is also part of the school's newspaper, where he currently serves as editor-in-chief. Ahmad is the Eastern Region Vice President for the Future Business Leaders of America. Living in DC has very much impacted what he wants to do in the future. Living in the first democratic nation, he has been able to see the push for rights for minority populations and the issues that face Native Washingtonians as gentrification takes its toll on their communities. This is why Ahmad plans on studying political science at GW.
I work in admissions with my colleague Josh Lowe and Mark DeLong over there. I'm so honored to be here and to introduce a few of the students because I have 3 children who went to GW, 2 children who are SJT scholars. This is always the most special time of year for me. I'm also excited because I get to introduce Madison Diaz, who is at Woodrow Wilson High School. Woodrow Wilson, I won't say when. Madison is in the top 10% of her class. She is an AP Scholar with honors. She has an earnest commitment to social justice, and as a journalist, activist, and advocate, has served her community in ways that promote equity, wellness, security for people who endure persistent exclusion. She pioneered a mental health program for students in Title I elementary school. The curriculum educates young people on self-care and resource awareness. She also recognizes the consequences of food waste, both as a food security problem and an environmental one. She's created a nonprofit composting business that serves her community, and Madison excels in subjects across disciplines and plans to pursue environmental studies at GW. Congratulations. The next person is a scholar from Bell Multicultural High School. He speaks 4 languages, holds the title of leading scorer on his soccer team, and has received the Mr. Percussion. His first job assisting his mother in her vending stall in Eastern Market gave him his first sense of accomplishment in his early taste for business. His plan is to study at GW's Elliott School of International Affairs. Great. And his plans reflect the natural intersection of his entrepreneurial interests, his international sensibilities, and as an Ivorian American, and the diplomacy skills he's developed at an early age, translating for peers in school. He will be the first in his family to attend college. I'm going to take a little, introduce the next person from Woodrow Wilson High School. So proud again. Eden Parker. Common denominator of Eden's gifts in dance, community leadership, political engagement, and creative writing is how she uses them in service to others around her. A member of Woodrow Wilson's class of 2022, okay. She's been involved in their Black Student Union, Model Congress, and National Honor Society. She's congressional intern in the office of Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton, a member of the Potomac Valley chapter of Jack and Jill of America, and a proud creator for the Boundless Drives, which hosted donation drives for the community centers in the DMV area. She's a dance conservatory student, describing artistic movement as a language. As a Black dancer, she has a great deal to say about representation in her art. We welcome Eden to GW School of International Affairs and look forward to the contributions of her arts and her civic mindedness, I apologize, to the GW community. Welcome.
Hello, for all the scholars, I'm the one that has been emailing you left and right. I may have texted you, called you. In your virtual interviews, the GW in the background was me. I was tech support, or I was in your interview, so one or the other. But I'm going to read a couple names and also, congratulate all of you. So first, I'm going to read Yasmin Fields. Yasmin is a senior at Benjamin Banneker Academic High School, who is well known for her kind and optimistic nature. The pandemic has no match for her dedication to her community and her ethic of care. During this time, while simultaneously leading the Banneker varsity cheer team as captain and thriving in a vigorous academic schedule, she's volunteered nearly 200 hours in the community to the most vulnerable people in her community. As a CEO of her Love is the Cure charity, she distributes urgently needed clothes, food, and supplies to unhoused DC residents. She also directed a letter writing campaign to homebound children and elderly and challenged her peers to come together to discuss creative solutions to food insecurity in DC. She is a culinary entrepreneur who has developed her own line of natural smoothies, and she intends to study neurology at GW to honor the memory of her grandmother. So next is Demia Brown, where she is an international baccalaureate student in the top 10% of her class. Demia was deeply moved by a pre-med summer program that allowed her to examine the racial disparities in healthcare delivery in the U.S., with consequences such as disproportionate mortality rates in wards 7 and 8, and significantly higher COVID mortality rates in Black communities. As a student enrolled in Eastern's National Academic Foundations of Public Health and Science, these are issues that she has committed to examine and mitigate. As a college student and beyond, her leadership roles in the National Honor Society and in Eastern student government are indications of the impact she plans to have on GW's campus as a political science major in the Columbian College of Arts and Science. We have as a 9th grade Rookie of the Year on Thurgood Marshall's academic women's basketball team, Sierra Jays began to move. She started a virtual science enrichment program for K through 4th graders, encouraging hands-on learning at home during after-school hours and teaching her students the fundamentals of epidemiology in fun and practical ways. She participated in neighborhood distribution of cleaning supplies, toiletries, and food when grocery stores were empty. Sierra took advantage of the opportunities made possible through virtual learning and has earned over 18 college credits at Marymount University, Bard College, and University of the District of Columbia. GW welcomes her to our School of Business, where she will continue to shine and lead the way for her peers. She's in class right now, but Nathaniel attends Benjamin Banneker Academic High School, where he's currently first in his class and in the others how to be more sustainable in their life. Moving to DC has made him believe that change is possible. Nathaniel plans on studying civil and environmental engineering at GW.
Josh, Chris, Eileen, and everyone was a part of this interview process. As you can see, we've attracted some amazing scholars for us. And the next person I want to introduce is going to be a rock and anchor to your GW experience. Helen Candace only serves as our SJT, one of our scholar mentors, and she'll be with you all throughout your GW experience. And I know she's going to be able to give you a little bit of a picture to your 4 years, as well as some current SJT scholars with her.
Thank you, Ben, very much. Good evening, everybody. It is really my pleasure to join President Wrighton, Provost Bracey, Dean Toll, our distinguished guests and invited guests, but particularly all the families, to join us in congratulating you on being selected as a Stephen Joel Trachtenberg Scholar. I am so excited to be here, and as you've heard, you are an impressive group of students. Each year I keep saying, I don't know how we're going to top this, and each year we either do it, and so it's been such great excitement that not only have you, I can say this, that not only have you met the qualifications, I think you've actually exceeded the expectations that President Emeritus Stephen Joel Trachtenberg specified when he created and announced this scholarship in 1989. You are joining a very wonderful and amazing group of 200 alumni and SJT scholars who are engaged in scholarship, graduate and professional schools, and a wide range of professional fields: teaching, research, web design, international affairs, engineering, journalism, law, medicine, politics, and really the list could go on and on. And many of them are still right here in Washington, D.C. And I share that is because one of the other aspirations of the scholarship was for students not only to receive their formal education here at GW, but to stay here and to engage and invest in the District of Columbia. So we will also hope to help facilitate all of this for you and support you in that. But in short, we advocate, we support, we challenge, and we celebrate the scholars. We do this through several ways, and first of all, we do this in several ways, and with our partnership with you, your families, we do it with our colleagues across campus, but specifically through our weekly seminar. We hold individual meetings with scholars, and then we also have a group messaging chat going on here. So these are some of the platforms in which we engage with you. But I want to also talk a lot about the seminar, because the seminar is really important in our individual meetings with you. So the seminar is something that we've been doing on a weekly basis, and we use it to address and discuss a myriad of topics and subjects, from understanding some of the transitional issues such as faculty and student expectations and the rigors of college level instruction, to preparing you for internships and jobs, and discussing pop culture, current events, and hot topics on campus. We utilize internal and external speakers to cover topics of interest and relevance. And over the years, we have had current scholars and alumni scholars return to serve on panels or lead sessions related to academic and personal growth, study abroad, careers, and I could continue forever about how we've been able to engage current students and returning alumni in our activities and programs. But this year, the scholars established committees to address ways in which they can help best become stewards of their own community. So we were excited because scholars really wanted to do some things to invest in their own community. And so they identified a couple of areas in which could help: education, peer mentoring, community service, branding, social activities. And so we're excited to use this opportunity for them to bond a little bit more in class, to talk about these activities and how, as a community, they can grow. So those are some of the things that we do. I will say that, some days are, some seminars are better than others, or more interesting than others, I should say. Yesterday we were going to end the class early because the weather was so nice. But when Dr. Francis asked for suggestions and putting together an SJT Scholar playlist on Spotify, is that right? Yeah, I think that's what we did. So we ended up, staying a little bit longer, but we turned up and had a nice playlist to keep home with us. I say all this to say that some seminars, like I said, are more fun and interesting than others, but always we have insightful conversation, meaningful dialogue, and we know that there's a good exchange of information given and that we care about each other. And that's what I want you to remember. And we hope that you will take care of yourself, and we will do what we can to take care of you, but we also want you to take care of yourself and others. So, Dr. and Francis and I, just to kind of finish this up, and because there is a lot, and I have a lot of passion. I get a little excited, but I'm going to take myself down. But Dr. Francis and I routinely meet with scholars on an individual basis. We use the Group Me platform, and they have our cell phones. We have each other's cell phones, so only when it's instant communication needed, we also use the text for instant communication. And finally, I guess in anticipation of your arrival, we have already discussed reinstating the overnight retreat. So I hope you're excited about that, for all of us to get to know each other and plan for the year ahead. So that is a brief and a really quick snapshot, but we're happy to talk further with you. We'll be around here, but at any time between now and your arrival here on campus, we'd be happy to talk to you further about what the SJT Scholarship community means, what we can offer you. But I'm very, very excited now, because it's my pleasure and honor to turn it over to two of our current SJT scholars, and that are Billy, if you come up. Well, why don't you want to both come up first? Okay. So we have Bailey Moore, who's a graduate of the Duke Ellington School of the Arts, and Rafael Tubula Chavez, a graduate of Washington International.
24, a sophomore here at GW, and I'm majoring in psychology with the hopes of becoming a future therapist. I graduated from the DC International High School as an IB diploma program student and co-valedictorian. Here at GW, I've been involved in the Philippine Cultural Society as a public relations staff. I've danced for GW Fuego, and right now I work at DC's very own Vita Fitness, where I was granted the opportunity to become a certified personal trainer over the summer in hopes of diversifying the fitness industry and creating a more representative community. So what I love most about SJT is, well, first and foremost, SJT is the greatest opportunity I've ever received. And I want to say that, well, you may feel like a big shot now, and I tell you to, yes, savor that feeling, but you will definitely encounter challenges along the way. But the best thing is that while you may feel alone in some of your struggles, as everybody else has emphasized, you have an entire team who's ready to see you succeed and help you along the way. So the one thing that I advise you to do is to ask for help. So I say congratulations, and I cannot wait to see what you will achieve as the new class of 2026.
More, and as she said, I'm a graduate of the Duke Ellington School of the Arts. I was in the legal department. I am a native of Ward 7, Washington, D.C., and I'm currently a second-year SJT scholar, majoring in public health and double minoring in human services and social justice and health equity on the pre-med track in hopes of becoming an OBGYN. GW is a great school with so many opportunities, and the ability to come here with the SJT scholarship has been such a blessing that I have made sure to use to my advantage. I was able to co-found a student organization called the Black Girl Pre-Health Collective that I currently serve as president for. I've been able to dive into my research interests with professors in health equity, Black reproductive justice, maternal mortality, and more. I've been able to participate in internships through GW's Logan School. I'm currently in one for maternal and child health. I was able to join the most illustrious and greatest sorority of all time, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Period. And I was, of course, able to join a great community of SJT scholars. Ms. Kennedy and Dr. Francis are so extremely supportive of me and all the other scholars, and they always push us to do our very best and shoot for the stars. They check in with us throughout the semester, offer advice, support, whether internal or external. They'll write recommendations if you need it. They'll even be your therapist if you need it sometimes, and it's college, so you will need one sometimes. But you know, it's just an amazing community, and you can rely on your fellow scholars to be there because we're all going through the same thing, you know. I say that, all that to say that the SJT Scholarship is an opportunity like no other. And no matter what your interests are, GW has what you need and space for you to grow and to cultivate even more than what they offer. Congratulations to all of you for your hard work that has clearly paid off, and I hope to see you next year.
To our current scholars, Dr. Francis, Ellen, for all of your support for this program. And to our new scholars, I hope you'll pencil this date in for next year as we ask you to come up and be speakers. But right now, I'm incredibly honored to welcome Congresswoman Eleanor Holmes Norton, who's been able to join us today. And we're deeply appreciative of all of her support to your educations through K through 12 and as we continue on here at GW.
Very much. For all of you from the administration of George Washington University who have joined this very important occasion as we honor the Trachtenberg scholars. This is an especially proud day, not only for the 10 Trachtenberg scholars and their families, but it is a very proud day for all of our DC residents to have such a scholarship here in the District of Columbia. I especially thank our hometown university, George Washington University, recognized as one of the nation's finest and most distinguished universities. As they attend a university that attracts students from all over the country and indeed all over the world, our DC scholarship students will take their rightful place among the best and the brightest. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you, George Washington.
Thank you, Congresswoman. I also want to appreciate and recognize 3 of our city council members that are here tonight: Mary Che, Janice Lewis George, and Alyssa Silverman. Really appreciate you coming here to help us celebrate with these students. And today we're starting a transition, right? As you wrap up your high school senior career, to reflect back on everything that you've done to be here tonight. And I'd like to introduce the State Superintendent for Education here in DC, Dr. Christina Grant, to kind of reflect back on everything that you've done to be here today.
You all can do better. Good evening. Good evening. I'm still a teacher. I am so humbled to be here. When President Wrighton had referenced my native New Yorker status, it was in the framing of all that I've learned about what it means to be a native Washingtonian and the deep reverence and pride that many of you have connected to the land that you were born on, that you were raised on. And it's just not lost on me that I too had the chance to graduate from high school and go to college in my community. And I just want to pass that message on to you all. It means something that you graduated in Washington, D.C., and you are receiving an amazing scholarship, something that's beyond. As I was reading and learning, I was like, wait, everything, and coaching, and support, and community, and George Washington University? I mean, it's just the perfect narrative. And so I said that statement resting in what it will mean in 2026 for you to walk across a stage even more equipped to transform your community. I was sitting next to the councilwoman and I was like, oh, psychology, hired. Healthcare, hired. Political science, you say. We have a capital right up the road, right? And so it's just, it explains to me why Native Washingtonians are so clear about taking their place. And their places in Congress, their places in City Hall, their places in education, and their place is yours. And so, you know, in the spirit of the work, I want to leave you with a couple of things, because I was a first generation college graduate. It was one of the scariest things I had ever endeavored to do. My parents, if some of you are sitting next to your parent right now, my father was like, I have $100 to give you for freshman orientation, and we have enough money to give you for books, but you're going to be on this journey on your own. And one of the scholars said, ask for help. You have a community of individuals. That late night when you miss turning in that paper, ask for help. When you find yourself in a place and space that you're unsure, ask for help. One of the scholars joined the best sorority in the world. Period is what you said, right? Right. But find your community and rest in the arms of these individuals who have committed themselves to getting you to that degree. You need to know it is significant that your congresswoman is here. It is significant that 3 members of council are here. It is significant that your provost is here. And if you don't meet anyone else before you walk out this room, meet the provost of the university. Because I'm telling you, it's time to register for class. These are tips that no one is going to tell you. It's very important. And everyone taking the time to usher you into this next stage of your life is not unintentional. It's because Washington, D.C. loves you. Because you are what it means to be a Native Washingtonian. You exceed, I mean, your bios are better than anything I've accomplished. And you're just getting started. So I expect for you to excel at this university. I expect for you to give me a run for my money and my job, and then graduate and challenge everyone else. It's your job to disrupt systems of oppression. It's your job to ask difficult questions. It's your job to take your place in what it means to be from Washington, D.C. Myself, Chancellor Farabee, our mayor, we could not be more proud of you all. And so congratulations, and thank you for making this investment in our children. It is a great day in Washington, D.C. right now. And just thank you all and congratulations.
Give you a little bit of foreshadowing of what comes next. Come Monday, we are going to welcome many more of your fellow students for next year. So our regular decision release will be on Monday afternoon, Monday evening. So you will be getting to know through social media and all sorts of different places in your high school hallways who else you might be coming to school with at GW this fall. We also, throughout the month of April, welcome you back, right? So we'll be doing mid-student events throughout the month that allow you to come in, get to know members of your school, your faculty, student life affairs, make those connections. And what we wanted to do by hosting this event today was to allow you to get to connecting with each other. You now know a little bit about each other, you know your interests. I hope as we break tonight, head to the back of the room, grab some refreshments, grab some snacks, and leave tonight with contact numbers, new friends, new connections, people that you're going to lean on throughout your next 4 years. We just want to be able to guide and shepherd you through this process. We know that you're going to get confused by some email about some requirement, things of that nature. Always reach out, right? Josh has been blowing up your email box the last couple of weeks. Use Josh. Time to pay it back to him, right? This is the time for you to work together to become part of a community. And I think, when you look at your college experience, when you reflect back 15, 20 years down the line, obviously you're going to remember the things you learned, but what's going to be most important is the people that you made a connection with. And that's your fellow students, that's your faculty, the staff around here, and we want to be there. We all choose to be at GW to help guide you on this process. So I want to really thank everyone for being here tonight. Thank the parents and supporters who helped these students get to this stage, and just take some time as we break tonight just to make those social connections. Again, congratulations. This has been an amazing night for everyone, and we're so proud of what you've been able to accomplish. Thank you all.
l'attente. Vraiment, c'est Awa. Je le souhaite beaucoup de bonheur, de succès dans la nouvelle étude qu'il va entamer. Je l'encourage beaucoup. C'est un enfant qui est bien, sa maman est bien. Vraiment, on est très contente aujourd'hui. Très contente d'être là, de le soutenir. C'est un enfant béni. Que Dieu le bénisse, que Dieu nous donne longue vie et Dieu nous accorde longue vie. Et qu'on voit les prochaines étapes, Inch'Allah. Ok, c'est tout ce que j'avais à dire. Merci.
J'étais bénie aujourd'hui. Tu as fait l'honneur à toute la famille. La famille de ton père, moi, la famille, moi, ma maman, on t'a supporté. Quand tu es né, j'ai eu des problèmes. Mais avec ma maman, elle s'est sacrifiée pour notre maison. Elle a dit mon petit-fils ne va pas dormir dans la rue pendant une année. Aujourd'hui, je fais l'honneur à ma mère qui est décédée. À ce salon. Vers ton âme, la femme de Jolie, ton honneur est là aujourd'hui. Momo nous a honorés. Il a eu le collège de combien? 330 000 $. C'est une fierté pour toute la famille en Guinée, la famille au Mali. Il a fait honneur aux deux familles. Vraiment, pardon. Je suis très contente. Je suis émue. Je me suis sacrée pendant 18 ans. Aujourd'hui, ça fait 18 ans dans quelques mois. Je travaille sur le foire. J'ai envoyé le petit, il avait 4 au marché. Je l'ai fait travailler avec les blancs. Il ramassait les tables des gens, on le payait 5 $. Après, ils sont montés à 10 $. Après, ils sont montés à 20 $. Une année, on allait en Guinée en vacances. On est revenu, on a payé 40 $. Ils ont commencé à le payer jusqu'à aujourd'hui, on le paye 140 $. Je l'ai attaché, je l'ai pris comme ma ceinture. Parce que j'ai trop souffert. Aujourd'hui, s'il a reçu, ça fait la fierté de toute la famille. Et je le bénis encore. Je ne sais pas comment je suis heureuse aujourd'hui. Même si je n'ai rien de mon aventure, mais l'éducation de mon enfant, il nous a honorés. Ça, c'est déjà beaucoup. Tout ce que je me demande, il n'a qu'à étudier. Il va devenir quelqu'un. Que je suis là où je ne suis pas là, mes copines, ma famille, il va s'occuper de toute la famille. La famille qui est plus importante. Qu'il sache qu'il n'est pas, il est américain, d'accord, mais il y a la famille qui est là derrière lui, qu'il veut supporter, aux côtés de son père, de sa mère, de tout le monde. Tout le monde est pareil pour lui. C'est ce que je veux lui dire. Que tu sois béni, Momo. Je t'aime beaucoup. Tu nous as honorés. Je peux te dire. Tanti Bomba est là, Tanti Jamais est là, Tanti Awa est là, que veut le supporter. Mon frère aussi est là. Hein? Je veux honneur à toute la famille. Je ne peux pas pleurer parce que ça me dépasse. Je ne peux pas pleurer. C'est plus fort que moi. Il y a des choses. Dieu va te bénir. Hein? Tout ce que tu cherches, Dieu va te bénir. Hein? Merci beaucoup. Tu m'as beaucoup honoré, Momo. Tu as toute la bénédiction.
Appreciate that you chose GW, and I mean that because we did interview quite a few students, as you know, and you heard the biographies of the other students. I was in particular impressed with your passion for GW, your passion for your family, and also just your drive to succeed. And I also played soccer in college, so yeah, I appreciate your mutual sporting passion. Yeah. So hopefully, when you look back on this after you graduated, you'll remember receiving the scholarship. And again, just congratulations.
Thank you so much. Get this scholarship. I know my family has worked very hard for me in this process. Obviously, my mom, my dad, all of my family members, they worked so hard just to get for me in this position. I want to thank them so much for everything that they've done for me. My mom, she struggled through so much. Every weekend having to go outside in the cold just to make sure that I have something to eat and something to live in. and I want to thank her because she's been there for me since I was a little boy. And obviously my dad, he's been there for me. He's always gotten me things whenever I needed it. And I thank them for their support because they pushed me to become a better person, and they are the reason why I'm the man I am today. Je remercie toute ma famille pour tout ce qu'ils ont fait pour moi, ma mère, mon papa, toutes mes tantes, mes oncles, pour tout ce que vous avez fait pour moi, ma grand-mère, mon grand-père. Merci pour tout ce qu'ils ont fait pour moi, toutes les souffrances qu'ils ont fait, tout pour me supporter et que je serai l'homme que je suis aujourd'hui. Et pour tous les sacrifices, à cause d'eux, maintenant j'aurai une meilleure future et que je ferai les bonnes choses dans l'avenir. Merci.